What if the past never truly stayed buried? Archaeologists dedicate their whole lives to digging through history, but every so often, they find something so disturbing it doesn't simply shake everything we thought we knew. It horrifies them. From ancient fire weapons fueled by unknown substances to underground rituals soaked in blood, today we're looking at the most terrifying archaeological discoveries ever found. Discoveries so dark that even experts still can't explain them. Number 15, the skeletons of Mohenjo-Daro. Mohenjo-Daro was once one of the most advanced cities on Earth. It had streets laid out in perfect grids, complex drainage systems, and huge public buildings thousands of years before modern civilization. But buried among those ruins, archaeologists found something that is super unsettling. Human skeletons lying exactly where they died. Some were face down in the streets. Others looked like they had fallen while trying to escape something. There were no mass graves or signs of proper burial, just bodies abandoned where they fell. That alone raised questions, but things became even stranger when reports surfaced claiming unusually high radiation levels had been detected in the area. Almost immediately, theories exploded across the world. Some believed Mohenjo-Daro had been destroyed by an ancient weapon powerful enough to resemble a nuclear blast. Researchers disagree with those claims, but nobody has solved what happened there. Disease, invasion, environmental collapse, catastrophe, every single theory leaves holes behind. Hundreds of years later, the city still feels frozen in the middle of its final scary moment. Number 14. Predator Neanderthal theory. For a very long time, Neanderthals were portrayed as clumsy, primitive humans barely surviving against nature. Then a darker theory emerged that totally broke the image. Some researchers began suggesting Neanderthals may not have been weak at all. They may have been predators powerful enough to terrify early humans. The theory gained attention after author Danny Vendramini argued that Neanderthals possessed physical traits far more intimidating than previously imagined. Thick bones, massive strength, broad shoulders, and unusually large eye sockets, possibly adapted for low-light vision. According to the theory, they hunted in ways early humans could barely defend against. Whether entirely accurate or not, the idea unsettled many anthropologists because traces of that possibility already existed in the fossil record. Injuries on ancient human remains, evidence of violent encounters. Signs of competition between species surviving in brutal Ice Age landscapes. The most disturbing part is how familiar the fear feels. Stories of giant humanoid creatures stalking people through darkness appear across countless cultures. Some researchers wonder whether ancient memories may still linger beneath those myths. Number 13. The underwater pyramid near Mount Pico. Near Portugal's Azores Islands, sonar scans captured something that immediately sparked arguments across the internet and among researchers alike. Hidden beneath the Atlantic Ocean appeared a massive geometric structure rising from the seafloor not far from Mount Pico. The formation looked triangular, almost like a big underwater pyramid. Reports claimed the structure stood nearly 200 feet tall with remarkably straight edges and a broad, symmetrical base. Some experts believe the scans revealed ruins connected to Atlantis, long rumored to have existed somewhere beneath the Atlantic. Others argued the formation could simply be a natural volcanic structure misinterpreted through sonar imaging. What made the story stranger was how little follow-up investigation ever became public. Officials downplayed the discovery, while independent researchers kept insisting the structure deserved closer examination. That gap between official explanations and public curiosity turned the site into a growing mystery. The Atlantic Ocean already hides countless shipwrecks and lost histories beneath its surface. But the thought of a pyramid resting silently underwater carries a different kind of unease entirely. Number 12. The Maya Blood Cave. Deep beneath the jungles of Mexico, archaeologists entered a cave so disturbing that many believed they had walked into the aftermath of an ancient massacre. Human bones covered the ground beside ceremonial altars stained with reddish mineral pigments that looked almost identical to dried blood. The site later became known as the Blood Cave, and no one on Earth can fully agree on what happened there. Researchers believe the cave may have been used by the Maya during periods of severe drought and famine. According to ancient Mayan beliefs, sacrifices were sometimes offered to Chayak, the rain god, in desperate attempts to bring storms back to the land. But this place felt different. Entire families appeared to have died here, not just selected victims. The remains were scattered everywhere as if panic had erupted seconds before death. The deeper archaeologists explored, the stranger the atmosphere became. The cave was silent, except for dripping water echoing through the darkness. Some investigators admitted the site genuinely unsettled them. Even after centuries underground, the scene still carried fear. Number 11. Devil's Town in Serbia. In southern Serbia, there's a place so strange that even local legends struggle to explain it properly. More than 200 stone towers rise from the earth, each topped with massive rock caps balanced so carefully they almost look placed there by hand. The site became known as Devil's Town, and after one look, the name starts making sense. Scientists say the formations were shaped naturally through erosion over thousands of years. Rain slowly wore away the softer ground, while heavier stones protected the pillars beneath them. It's a simple explanation. Yet the place never quite feels simple once you stand inside it. Old Serbian legends claim the towers were once inhabited by people attending a cursed wedding before being turned into stone by dark forces. Nearby mineral springs only add to the atmosphere. One is so acidic that it can barely be touched. Another tastes heavily of salt. Locals still speak about dizziness, headaches, and unsettling sensations while visiting the area. Whether natural or not, Devil's Town carries the kind of atmosphere that makes people lower their voices without realizing it. Number 10. Cannibalism at Cowboy Wash. Archaeologists, in the ancient ruins of Cowboy Wash, found evidence so disturbing that debates around it still continue decades later. There were human bones scattered through abandoned structures that showed unmistakable signs of butchering. Cut marks lined the skeletons. Bones had been cracked open for marrow. Some remains even appeared roasted over fire. Experts studying the site realized this was not ordinary burial behavior. The bodies had been processed the same way animal carcasses would have been. Skull fragments suggested brains may have been removed. In one of the most chilling discoveries, scientists detected traces of human blood proteins inside cooking vessels found nearby. The ruins belonged to the ancestral Puebloans and dated back roughly 900 years. What nobody agrees on is why this happened. Some believe that desperate famine pushed people toward survival cannibalism during catastrophic droughts. Others think the violence carried ritual meaning meant to terrorize enemies or assert dominance. Whatever the truth may be, Cowboy Wash transformed from an archaeological site into one of the darkest mysteries connected to ancient North America. Number 9. The Neanderthal child eaten by a giant bird. Well, this might sound like something invented for a dark prehistoric movie, but the discovery is completely real. Inside a cave in Poland, archaeologists uncovered tiny finger bones belonging to what was likely a Neanderthal child. The remains were incredibly small and fragile, yet they carried marks that immediately disturbed researchers. The surface of the bones showed signs of having passed through the digestive system of a large predator. It was not a wolf or a cave bear. It was a giant bird. That detail changes the entire picture of prehistoric life. Humans usually imagine themselves standing at the top of the food chain, even in ancient times. But during the Ice Age, survival worked differently. Enormous birds of prey once dominated parts of Europe, and some may have been strong enough to lift small human children from the ground. The cave also contained Neanderthal stone tools scattered nearby, placing the child among traces of everyday life that ended violently. But it is still unclear if the bird unalived the child and then ate him, or if the bird had simply found the body afterward. What's your theory on this? Number 8. Gunung Padang Pyramid Theory. High in the hills of West Java sits Gunung Padang, a place that has turned into one of the most controversial archaeological finds on Earth. For years, people believed it was simply an ancient megalithic site built on top of a volcanic hill. Then researchers started scanning beneath the surface, and everything changed. Layers hidden underground appeared far older than anyone expected. Some estimates pushed sections of the structure back nearly 25,000 years, a period long before cities, farming, or anything resembling advanced civilization. According to experts leading the study, the hill may have been intentionally shaped and expanded over thousands of years by unknown builders. That claim exploded across the archaeological world. Critics immediately challenged the dating methods and accused researchers of stretching the evidence too far. But supporters argue the underground chambers, stone alignments, and buried structures cannot be dismissed so easily. What makes Gunung Padang unsettling is not just its age. It is the possibility that human history may be missing entire chapters that no one knows yet. Number 7. Cannibalism during the Jamestown starving time. It's impossible to even imagine eating your own family just to survive. But during the winter of 1609, something horrifying unfolded inside the Jamestown colony. Food disappeared almost completely. Disease spread through the settlement faster than anyone could control. Snow, freezing winds, and isolation trapped the colonists behind weak wooden walls, while starvation slowly turned the colony into a nightmare. Survivors later called it the starving time, and many avoided speaking about it for the rest of their lives. For centuries, stories of cannibalism at Jamestown sounded too horrifying to believe. Then archaeologists uncovered human bones carrying cut marks left by knives. One young girl's skull showed clear evidence of post-mortem butchering. The remains suggested starving colonists had dismembered bodies for food after death. That discovery changed the entire image of early colonial America. These were not prehistoric tribes struggling in some forgotten age. They were settlers from a structured society who collapsed into desperation within months. And honestly, that may be the most disturbing part of all. Number 6. The Baghdad Electrical Complex. Most people know the so-called Baghdad Battery, but hidden behind that story were claims far stranger than a single ancient battery. Archaeologist Wilhelm König reportedly uncovered evidence suggesting parts of ancient Baghdad may have used an organized electrical system. Beneath sections of the city were copper cables, ceramic insulators, and structures resembling distribution networks. Some accounts described wiring patterns surprisingly similar to modern electrical layouts. Engineers who later examined recovered components claimed the materials showed long-term conductivity rather than ceremonial use. Certain metal parts also resisted corrosion despite centuries underground. According to suppressed reports, the system appeared advanced enough to distribute energy across large areas of the settlement. Then, the excavation work abruptly stopped. Authorities restricted access, sealed sections of the site, and much of the documentation disappeared from public circulation. The remaining artifacts became fragmented across museum collections. Today, the Baghdad discoveries remain suspended between fringe theory and one of history's strangest unresolved archaeological debates. Number 5. The Melnik Earth Pyramids. Near the small town of Melnik rises a landscape that barely looks natural at all. Thin sandstone towers stretch across the hillsides like giant crumbling pillars carved by something ancient and deliberate. Some stand over 100 feet tall, their shapes so oddly balanced that visitors often stop mid-conversation trying to understand what they are looking at. Geologists explain the formations as the result of erosion. Wind, rain, and centuries of weather slowly sculpted softer rock away, while harder layers remained standing. But standing among them in person creates a different feeling entirely. Certain formations appear almost geometric, too symmetrical to feel accidental. The region surrounding the pyramids only deepens the mystery. Ancient Thracian ruins, abandoned monasteries, and hidden tunnels are scattered throughout the area. Stories about strange energy fields and underground chambers have circulated there for years. But no proof has confirmed those theories. Still, the silence around the pyramids feels heavy. Number 4. The metallic library of the Teos Caves. Somewhere beneath Ecuador's Teos Caves, explorers once claimed to have entered huge underground chambers containing rows of metallic books unlike anything ever found. We're talking about actual metal pages stacked across massive halls deep below the earth. Scottish explorer Stan Hall described sheets made from a strange gold-colored material, thin enough to bend by hand yet impossible to damage easily. Symbols covered every page in perfectly ordered lines. Some markings resembled ancient scripts. Others looked completely unknown. Then things became strange very quickly. Researchers reported cameras malfunctioning inside certain chambers. Photographs failed. The equipment stopped working without explanation. Soon after, stories spread that sections of the cave system were suddenly restricted and heavily monitored. That alone pushed the mystery even further. To this day, nobody can fully prove what was seen beneath those caves. But if even part of the story is true, then somewhere under Ecuador may rest an entire library containing knowledge never included in human history at all. Number 3. The Royal Cemetery of Ur. When archaeologists excavated the ancient city of Ur, they expected royal tombs filled with gold. What they found instead looked more like a carefully staged death ritual. Deep beneath the ruins were burial pits containing rows of human skeletons positioned with eerie precision. Some still held musical instruments. Others clutched drinking cups in their hands as if frozen in the middle of a final ceremony. For decades, historians believed these servants and attendants willingly drank poison to accompany their king or queen into the afterlife. It sounded horrifying enough already. But modern forensic studies suggest something much darker may have happened. Some victims possibly suffered blunt force trauma before death, leading researchers to believe they may have been drugged and executed instead. The silence inside those tombs must have been overwhelming when they were first opened. Gold jewelry still rested on skeletons that had remained untouched for over 4,000 years. Everybody appeared carefully arranged, almost theatrical. But still, the truth behind this ancient cemetery is missing. Number 2. Mount Ertanj Pyramid Theory. Rising above eastern Serbia is a mountain that looks almost unnaturally perfect. Mount Ertanj forms a sharp triangular silhouette so symmetrical that people have spent years wondering whether it is truly a mountain at all. From certain angles, it resembles an enormous pyramid carved directly into the landscape. Legends surrounding the peak stretch back centuries, but modern theories push the mystery much further. Some believe hidden chambers lie beneath the mountain. Some even claim the structure radiates unusual energy capable of affecting weather, electronics, and even human behavior. During the 2012 apocalypse panic, people actually traveled there believing the mountain would protect them from a global catastrophe. Researchers dismiss most of those claims, pointing instead to natural geology and erosion. Yet the stories refuse to disappear. Locals still speak quietly about strange lights near the summit and areas where compasses allegedly behave unpredictably. What unsettles visitors most is not proof of anything supernatural. It is the mountain's shape itself. Something about its near-perfect geometry creates the uncomfortable feeling that nature alone should not look this deliberate. Number 1. The Byzantine Greek fire grenade. Modern warfare often feels separated from the ancient world, but some inventions appeared far earlier than most people realize. One of them may have been the hand grenade. Archaeologists found a strange clay object near the coast of Israel that closely resembles explosive devices used centuries later in modern combat. The artifact dates back to the medieval period and likely belonged to forces connected to the Crusades. Shaped almost like an acorn, the container features a narrow opening where a fuse could have been inserted before throwing it toward enemy ships or fortifications. Historians believe it once held a highly flammable liquid related to the terrifying substance known as Greek fire, the infamous weapon used by the Byzantine Empire. Unlike ordinary flames, Greek fire reportedly continued burning even across water, turning naval battles into floating nightmares. Nobody today knows the exact formula behind it. The grenade itself may not have caused big explosions like modern weapons, but against wooden ships covered in tar and cloth, even a small burst of fire could become catastrophic. If this video amazes you, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you later.